Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us. It's really nice to be here. It's really nice to enjoy music. This is Audacy, DTS Soundspace Sundays. My name is Nicole Alvarez. Please welcome the lovely Nessa Barrett.
Maybe there's a reason in your head, tied up somewhere that we went when you were mine, when you were mine. Maybe it's the feeling that you get guilty over everything you did, crossing the line. Oh, what a crime. Now I know the ways, all the other ways that they can hurt me. I won't be the same, it won't be the same, won't be as easy. 'Cause what you don't know, where my heart goes cold, oh, I hold my demons close, so I'll let you go, oh, I'll let you go, oh, I'll let you go, Maybe there's a reason in your head, tied up somewhere that we went. Maybe it's the feeling that you get guilty over everything you did. Now I know the ways, all the other ways that they can hurt me. I won't be the same, it won't be the same, won't be as easy. 'Cause what you don't know, where my heart goes cold, oh, I hold my demons close, so I'll let you go, oh, I'll let you go, oh, I'll let you go, If you love me, I don't know. If you love me, I don't know. Don't you think that I should know? I should know, no. Oh, oh my dear, don't love me out of fear. If you love me, let me go. If you love me, let me go. Oh, my darling, please save yourself from earthing. If you love me, let me go. You don't love me, we both know. Oh, oh, oh. All I am is a man. I want the world in my hands. I hate the beach, but I stand in California with my toes in the sand. Use the sleeves of my sweater, let's have an adventure. Head in the clouds, but my gravity centered. Touch my neck and I'll touch yours. You in those little high-waisted shorts. Oh, she knows what I think about, yeah. What I think about. One love, 2 miles. One love, one house. No shirt, no blouse, just us, you find out. Nothing I really wanna tell you about, no. 'Cause it's too cold for you here and now, so let me hold both your hands in those of my sweater. If I may just take your breath away, I don't mind if it's not much to say. Sometimes silence guides our minds to move to a place so far away. The goosebumps start to race, and then my left hand meets your waist. And I watch your face, put my finger on your tongue 'cause you love the taste, yeah. These hearts adore everyone the other beats heart is for. Inside this place is warm, outside it starts to pour. Coming down, one love, 2 miles. One love, 1 house. No shirt, unless you find out. Nothing I really wanna tell you about. No, 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 'cause it's too cold for you here and now. So let me hold both your hands in those of my sweater. Oh, 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 'cause it's too cold for you here and now. So let me hold both your hands in those of my sweater. It's too cold, it's too cold, those are my sweater. Yeah, it's too cold, it's too cold, those are my sweater. Does it rain? Does it rain? I know it rains. Does it rain in California? Only dream I've ever known. Will they love you when you're famous? Will you never be alone? Hope someday I'll find a partner. I'll be looking down below. I'll be dead at 27. Only 9 more years to go. Got a bullet in my head. Fake love, fake friends. I was broken when you left. Now you hear me everywhere you go. La-di-dee, oh, la-di-da. Gonna be a superstar. Be the girl you used to know. Play it on the radio. La-di-dee, oh, la-di-da. Loving me is suicide. I'm a dreamer, I'm on fire. La-di-dee, run for your life. Yeah, I'm gonna be a rock star. Told her I don't want a war. No, no, I don't see me going far. That's what happens when I fall apart. All of me wants all of you, but I'm far away and I can't choose. Got a lot of lessons that I need to learn. Got a lot of lessons. My depression and misconceptions and all the mistakes that lead to lessons. My depression, it makes me question. My depression, it makes me question. La-di-dee, oh, la-di-da. Gonna be a superstar. Be the girl you used to know. Play it on the radio. La-di-dee, oh, la-di-da. Loving me is suicide. I'm a dreamer, I'm on fire. La-di-dee, run for your life. Does it rain? Does it rain? I know it rains. I'm going back to 5:05. If it's a 7-hour flight or a 45-minute drive. In my imagination, you're waiting, lying on your side, with your hands between your thighs. Stop and wait a sec, 'cause when you look at me like that, my darling, what did you expect? I'd probably still adore you with your hands around my neck. Or last time I checked. Not shy of a spark. The knife twists at the thought that I should fall short of the mark. Frightened by the bite, though it's no harsher than the bark. The middle of adventure, such a perfect way to start. I'm going back to 5:05. If it's a 7-hour flight or a 45-minute drive, and my imagination waiting, lying on your side, with your hands between your thighs.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Audacy's DTS Soundspace Sunday. My name is Nicole Alvarez, and I'm here with the lovely Nessa Barrett. Hi, Nessa.
Hi, how are you?
We met a little while ago, but again, we'll do it for everybody to watch. I'm Nicole, and it is a pleasure to meet you because I feel like I kind of know you. You know how that social media thing happens where I've been following you for what? You've been on there since like 2019?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So I follow you and you start to think that you know somebody. In reality, you don't. And it's such a pleasure to meet you and then see this whole other side of you.
Thank you.
Do you find that happens a lot when people meet you, that they have expectations of who they think you are?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think social media in general is just a place for people to judge you. And, people already have, their idea of you before they even get to say hi face to face in person, and that just tends to happen a lot. A lot of people think that I'm just someone that I'm really not, and then they meet me and they're like, oh wait, you're actually nice, and I'm like, what?
And there's more to you. But in social media, would you say it's a necessary evil? We need it, but would you be happy without it?
I mean, currently I don't even have any on my phone, and I've probably been the happiest that I've ever been without it.
Would you recommend that other people do that? Because I have noticed, like I said, I follow you, and there's so many people that want to they want to drag your personal life into things, and you just want to have fun and live your life, and you're focusing on music, and I've noticed, which is very smart, that you very gracefully step back from it.
Yeah.
Did somebody advise you to do that, or did something inside you, did your mental health check come up, and just your brain said, it's time to step back?
No, yeah, totally. I think it was a mental health check, It's kind of you have to be a certain type of strong to deal with negative opinions about you. And those that kind of, are already so insecure about themselves. I think social media can be such a damaging place, and it's just a false reality. Yep. And that's why I kind of decided to get away from it.
All right, let's talk about music. So first, let's rewind a little bit. 'Cause so many people watching are just getting to know you. You are exploding onto the scene like the star that you are. You're getting played on so many alternative rock stations, in between like huge older bands like the Chili Peppers and Coldplay and whatnot. And then along comes Nessa Barrett. How old are you, and where are you from?
I am 18 and I'm from New Jersey.
Would they consider you? You're like Gen Z, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how would you describe your generation?
I don't know. I feel like there's just.
Would
I
you
don't-
say hopeful, positive? Would you say that you're carrying the weight of the past world on your shoulder?
No, yeah. I mean, I think the overall like description, I feel like for me, for Gen Z, would probably be like, I feel like everyone is kind of like chasing really big dreams,
Yeah.
and we're like, everyone's like working really hard and like kind of doing things that like most people that wouldn't do back then when they were like 18. I think we're kind of brave in a way.
So let me ask you, when did music first kind of come knocking on your door? Were you a little girl that fell in love with a song? Do you come from a musical background? Or when was it that you started dreaming of being on the stage?
Well, my dad actually is like, he just loves music.
Yeah.
Since I was born, I grew up with a studio in my house always. I recorded my first song when I was like 4 in the studio. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Do you have that anywhere?
Yes, I do. I have it saved. It's
Okay.
me and my dad's song. So my dad rapped, and then I was singing in it when I was 4.
Oh my God.
And so, it's always been like insanely like influenced by my family. My mom has amazing music tastes. Like, she's just like incredible. And so, yeah, I feel like
So it was always around. I grew up in that kind of house where they were always playing music, but I can't do what you do, so I just go to a lot of concerts. But when did you start dreaming the big dream where you started to see yourself on stage?
Oh, I mean, I don't know exactly when, but I just know that like from the age of like 9 to 16, every birthday that I had, I would blow out my candle, and my wish was always to be a singer. I got like a dog back home, and I named her Callie because I wanted to move out to California and like Hollywood, and
Wow.
it's just like always been a big dream, and it's just like so crazy.
Well, that's not that crazy because here you are now. But who was the one that came knocking on your door and said, all right, if you have this dream, let's do it? Who gave you, I guess you could say, your first chance?
It's a really good question. I think that, I was coming out to LA when I gained a platform on social media, and I started actually singing on TikTok, and that was something that I was very like vulnerable about. I'm like very,
because you're putting it out there.
No.
And what was your following? So you had a pretty big following from the beginning, and you would do, like the dances and the funny stuff. But what was your following like before you started putting yourself out there? What were you at? Like 5 million?
No, yeah, I'm gonna say I'm like 2, 3 million.
That's still
yeah.
freaking huge.
Yeah.
And then you decided to just put yourself out there. And then did you find that it was a supportive community and it made you want to do it more, or did it scare you?
No, I thought everyone was so supportive, and I was shocked almost, just because like it's been such a big dream of mine, but also like when I would like sing at home and all this stuff, the one comment that everyone would make about my singing is that my voice is so unique. And as like a little girl, like that doesn't sound like the best compliment, And I was like, oh, okay, like they're just like trying to let me down gently, but then,
It's a really nice backhanded compliment.
Yeah, I know. So when I posted like my very first like TikTok singing videos, I got a really amazing response from everyone, and I think that kind of pushed me to be like, okay, like I think I might actually be able to do something that I've always wanted to do. And then I think from that video, a owner of a studio actually saw that and then asked me to come in and work on some music, and I did, and it started ever since.
And did it feel right? Like right away, did you know I can do this?
Oh yeah, I mean I jumped in and just like the vibe of like being in a studio, like in the booth, like it just felt like home.
Because you grew up like that.
Yeah.
That makes total sense. Now, as far as the lyrics and the things that you're putting out there into the world, they're very, very vulnerable and they're very, very raw. And you're opening yourself up to, yes, to having people relate to you, and I think that's amazing to be a self-aware artist, a la Billie Eilish, for example, who's very self-aware, but you're also opening yourself up to a lot of critique. So how do you handle that part? Like, how do you keep your head in check?
Yeah, I mean the biggest reason kind of why that I chose to stay like so like authentic and real with everyone was just because like I wanted to stay humble, you know, and grounded and like never forget who I am and like where I came from. And it does hurt, you know, when you get comments that you don't really want to hear, like critiques, like you said, especially when I'm being so vulnerable. But I don't know. I just think everything's a learning process,
Yep.
and so I can't really let everything get to me.
No, one thing that I learned that you might have learned this too is that when people are critiquing you, the kind of people you learn a lot about other humans. The kind
Yeah.
of people that critique are broken people, like they're hurt people. They've got nothing to do. So it's easier to let that go because you just have to stay focused on your dream and your path. And so far, you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
Watching your excitement when you were going on Kimmel and Ellen, it wasn't just like you weren't just posting the videos and the picture, but you were genuinely like, what is happening to my life right now? So when you were there, were you able to be in the moment, or was it one of those things that you don't even remember it happening because it was so surreal?
No, yeah. I mean, it almost feels like a dream. You know,
Yeah.
like how you can like kind of remember like bits and pieces, but like not everything. That's kind of what like my Kimmel and Ellen performances feel like. I feel like I haven't even like felt it completely yet because I'm still like
In a
so in
dream.
denial.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, there's no way. But it's crazy, and like my family would like be like, oh my god, I just saw you, and I'm like,
It's not just them, like millions and millions of people are seeing you. And now with working with Travis Barker, what's that like? Because we play La Di Da like crazy, and hearing you and Travis and Jaden, it's literally everywhere. So is that humbling, or is that still like a pinch me moment?
To be honest, the first time I recorded my vocals with Travis, I was so shaky just because it's like, that's Travis Barker, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, being in middle school and listening to, like, I Miss You by Blink, and it's just like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's, like, a pinch me moment, but also at the same time, like, he is such, like, a humble and down-to-earth person himself, so it doesn't even feel like, you know, it's Travis, but
Yeah.
he doesn't, like, act, you know?
He's so down. He's salt of the
Yeah.
earth, that one. All right. So now the world is opening up, and you're kind of this rise to fame that you're experiencing outside of just social media has been happening during a pandemic. So these live performances where you're kind of getting your feet wet haven't happened just yet. You're doing them still under COVID restrictions. Let's say the world opens up completely and boom, you get invited to play at a festival. The second I say that, do you feel nervous, or are you like, let's go?
It's like a mix.
It's a mix.
Like I instantly want to smile and be like, "Oh my god," but it's also like, that's so many people.
so many
It's crazy, you know. I don't know, but I'm excited. I think that like once I have like my first show, I'll be like, okay, I got it now. Like
Yeah.
the nerves will be like calmed down, but it's just like crazy to even think that like more than like 10 people would want to even sit there and watch me sing.
Well, what's the biggest audience you've ever played for so far? Not including like, I'm not saying like TV viewing audiences, but like here where people can't see, but we're in a pretty private space with a handful of people. I'm assuming you've done this
Yeah.
tons of times, but have you played like maybe a mini show?
No, never. I mean,
my
this might
goodness.
sound so embarrassing, but
I
the
wanna
closest
be-
I've gotten, like, you know, like school choir, you know.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going different level, and I have to be there for this. I've really enjoyed getting to know you because it's not that I had a perception of who you were, but I only knew you on social media, and I follow all of the things, and I've got a pretty strong mind, so I didn't think you were one way or another. But meeting you, you're a dreamer. That's what you are. You're a dreamer, and you're a hard worker, and it's been lovely to get to know you. So What is next? What is the next dream that you want to check off the list?
I really do want to like release a project. Like
Do you have
EP,
anything in the
album.
works?
I do have an EP in the works.
Okay.
I'm actually so excited for it because I know that it's going to like be so real and like that's just gonna be like me.
Is that therapy for you when you're able to sing the lyrics that you sing and then write and then create your own songs? Is that therapy, and is that a way that you process the world?
No, yeah, it's the best therapy that I could ever get. It's just like how I cope. I'm not really the type of person to open up to many people because I feel kind of ashamed for like my mental health at some points. And, you know, when I'm able to just like write down lyrics explaining exactly how I feel, but like not at the same time, you know, I know what they mean to me. It's like how I cope. And then the fact that it's kind of like a weight is lifted off my shoulders too, because in a sense, like when everyone hears it, when it's out, I'm like opening up and like releasing everything that I've like bottled up inside. But I'm so excited.
And that's great for mental health. And just think of all the people that are listening that can relate to you in that way, and then it just becomes like one big healing festival. So what you're doing is actually, again, and I say this all the time, and I want people to start kind of living it, vulnerability is a superpower. So the more that we open ourselves up, I think the better off we are, and you are on a great track. Last question, what have you done to connect with your fans throughout this entire madness that is the pandemic?
I mean, you know, I've done like virtual meet and greets and stuff, but I think the fact that I'm still, I mean, I used to, you know, tweet and like talk to them a lot and like go live and like talk about my feelings, and I think that like that connects with them more than anything, because like, you know, they like knowing that like even someone that they like idolize is going through similar problems as them. So yeah.
Yeah, and you've also been good, like for the most part, you've stayed on social media, you're taking that step back.
Yeah.
And I think another way that you've connected is just releasing the music. And that's something that I think people can relate to, because you always have the songs to lean on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, very, very last question. Out of everything that you've gotten to do so far, what's been the biggest pinch me moment for you? The one that you're like, all right, now things are getting ridiculous.
I'm gonna have to say Ellen.
Ellen?
Honestly.
Why Ellen?
You know, I grew up like watching.
She's Ellen, yeah.
And just watching her and seeing like all these like talented kids and stuff like go on there and everything, and I just remember like being in my living room at home like watching it and being like, oh my god, I wish. Like that has been a dream like forever, and you know, when I kind of was able to perform, I was like, okay, now I feel like I'm close to making it, you know?
Yeah, and it was a beautiful performance. Now, before we go, if there's a message that you'd like to give to your fans, you know, the ones that have been with you through thick and thin, up and down, what would you like to say to your fans?
I love you guys so much, and never stop giving up, and just know that it's okay to not be okay.
There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. This is the lovely Nessa Barrett, and you just watched Audacy's DTS Sound Space Sunday. I'm Nicole Alvarez. Mwah. Goodbye.